So, welcome, gorgeous souls, to another juicy, joyful episode of Live Your Best Laugh. I am practically wetting myself with excitement about my guest today. We've been chatting for a little while about you coming on, haven't we, my love? And I'm just so excited that I am bringing the gorgeous Lucia Craddock to you today because not only is she amazing at what she does, but she's just an all-round, like peachy, amazing, incredible soul. That yes, I have the pleasure of knowing in the flesh and online in all the things. So before we dive in, let me tell you a little bit about Lucia. She is a vision and alignment strategist, an event host, speaker, and author. I'm just going to give that a little bit of a like a yay. Yay! And she is super passionate about helping women move from confusion and self-doubt into clarity, confidence, and conviction so they can create a life that feels like a true, wait for it, fuck yes. Fuck yes. So it's so wonderful to have you here, my darling. If you'd love to say hello to everyone listening, and yeah, anything you would love to share with everyone that is tuned in right now, my love.
Oh, thank you for that intro as well, Kat. I love that. I'm sat here like, oh, that's
Yay!
me. Thank you so much. It's just such a pleasure to know you, and what an absolute honor to be on this amazing podcast as well. So, thank you very much for having me. And yeah, I'm excited to get stuck in. I always love our chats. We were chatting before we hit record, and my face is hurting already from laughing. I just can't stop smiling. My little cheeks. I'm like, ah, I know I'm gonna have like to do some jaw exercises after today. But yeah, I'm really excited. And it was really interesting in that intro as well. So you might have heard we made a big like when Kat said author. So I've been saying soon to be author. My debut book is being released. We can talk about that anyway next month. But it, like hearing that, this is the third podcast I've done when I've actually like come out. Like, I've got a book. It was like my little kind of secret for so long, and now it's like, oh my freaking God, it is happening. So yeah, that makes me feel really, really proud, and it's lovely that this is the first podcast I've been on to bring that to life. I'm gonna have to get used to that title and say
Yes.
I am an author. I've been saying when I introduce myself, soon to be best-selling author.
Oh,
That's the
oh.
vision. I was actually at a meeting this morning and I said, yeah, I'm going to sell 16 million copies of my book. And everyone's face was like, what? I was like, well, reading the subtle art of not giving a fuck. And he sold 16 million copies. So why the fuck not? That's over
Yes.
10 years. So, I know it's not going to hit the kind of get out the hit the button like bing, it's live and expect 16 million copies just yet. But as I'm sure we'll get into through this chat, like the work I do, the vision work I do, the conviction, I believe that. I truly believe
Yeah.
because I know what my book is about and it's needed, and I've been guided to write this, and it is going to transform and help so many people globally to say fuck no to their one
Yeah.
days and start to create their fuck yes life, which I think the world needs more than ever right now. So yeah, I'm really proud and passionate to bring that to life and to be introduced as an author today.
Yes.
Yay!
Oh my God. There's so much I want to follow with that. My little brain's going, which line to follow? But my first reflection is like, why the fuck not? You know?
Exactly.
And I think this is the thing we so often like step gently, right? Or like aim to something that feels, like, oh, this is enough. This is okay to ask for. And it's like, why the hell not go for like the number that feels really freaking juicy? And like honestly, particularly on what you're writing on, it's like actually, who the hell are you not to claim the 16 million,
Yeah.
you
And
know?
today was the first time because I've actually got written down on my goals, my visions to sell a million copies. And today I was like 16 million came out my mouth. I was like, fucking hell, here we go. There we go. We're going for 16 million now because I did a photo shoot last week and I took the book with me as like a prop. And then my husband was like, I don't know if you should have the book with a like the cover because I was going to edit it eventually and put my book cover on it. But he said, I don't think you should share the photos just yet with a different book cover on because it just seems a bit confusing. So I've cropped it, and the bit you can just see at the top of the book said 16 million copies sold. So that's where it's come from. And I'm like, well, if he can do it, I can do it. Like absolutely. Why not? And I think even now there's more people in the world. There's more people than there were 10 years ago into personal development, into growing themselves, into having like just crazy big ass visions and dreams. Like there's so many more opportunities now. And more people are open to this work. And obviously it's going to be a book, but it's going to be an audible as well. And a lot of people like listening. So yeah, why the fuck not? Let's go.
Yeah, like so often the thing is, like I love what you shared about I can't remember his name, the author you said, but like
Mark. I can see the cover because I've got it in my phone
right.
too. Mark
Yeah.
Morrison or Monson, I
Yeah,
want to say, yeah.
so like people showing us what's possible, okay? And there's so
Hmm.
many different ways that we can look at stuff like that. We can look at what someone has achieved and sit in a kind of a lack space of like, oh, that isn't me, right? Or we can sit in a plenty space and be like, well, thanks for showing me the bloody way, right? Like you said, if it's possible for him, then of course it's possible for you,
Yeah, and
you
this is a
know?
huge topic as well because this covers over into comparison. Because so
Mm,
many people will see someone doing what they want to do and compare themselves. So I could look at him and go, well, I'm never going to do that because I'm not him, and
yeah,
compare myself to his journey. Like we say, comparison is the thief of joy, and but so many people get caught up in comparison rather than using and jealousy. Jealousy is a good emotion in a way because jealousy is an indicator that what that person's got, you want. But then it's how
yeah.
you choose to either kind of process that or how you choose
Mm.
to action on that. If you sit in your own pity party going, well, it can never happen for me. Like, look at them. They're so much better. They've got so much further. They've done this and they've got that. And you can choose it. And I've been in that space, absolutely, and got myself into a right old head fuck. And the spiral of the downward spiral and negativity and it's not a great place to be. So I get that there is that place. But what I've done with my journey in over, God, the last 10 years developing, more than that, 20, but real my personal development journey started nearly 10 years ago. When I got into this is why I want to share this book because I personal development books changed my life. They've
Mm,
helped me grow and shape the person that I am today. And then you start to learn how your mindset works and how this stuff works. And then you can actually take that jealousy and turn that, redirect that into going, okay, well, if they've got that, there's something that feeling in me, there's something that I want that as well. And they're
mm,
showing you what is possible. So it's just reframing it, isn't it? But yeah, so many people get stuck in that comparinitis, I call it.
yeah,
And especially with the social media now. And, social media, you see people's highlights and you see all the good shit. You don't see all the crap that goes on behind the scenes or the journey always that it took to get that person to where they are. Like you're comparing your chapter 1 to their chapter 20. So it's the
mm,
journey, isn't it? So I always say if you feel jealousy towards something, good, sit with that and really go in and go, well, what is it about that I want? And then use that as inspiration. And yeah, like you said, if they've done it, then I can do it. They've opened that door to show you what is possible, or even more. Why not even
yeah,
more? But there's only one of us. This is the great thing. There's only one you. Like someone can do exactly the same thing as you, but they're not you. So it's owning that, which is a lot of the method that I teach as well, is about being unapologetic and really figuring out what you want and your own version of success is. And then you create your vision and design your life around that.
yeah. And this, like, I think anyone listening will fully relate and resonate
We've all
because
been there.
we,
We've
we've
all been there.
all been, we've all
Yeah.
been there.
Yeah. And we
That,
go there sometimes, but now you've got those tools and that mindset is how long you sit in
mm,
that.
yeah,
And you
yeah,
go, actually, fuck, like stop comparing yourself, Lucia. I do
yeah,
it in the online business space, and then I really have to get myself out of that and go, right, Lucia, that's it. You've had that moment. Now what are you going to do with it? Like use that as inspiration, put that rocket fuel up your ass. And if they can do it, you can do it as well. Like there is only one you. So I have these little mental chats with myself often.
yeah.
Literally have a word with yourself. I have many words with myself.
Yeah, it's well, like you're sharing, it's like use it as a purpose, use it as
Mm.
power, use it as a passion fueler to like whatever, you want to do next. And I think all around us, there are people like leading the way with things that we may want to do as well. So it's like looking on them as allies instead of
Yeah.
whatever way we want to describe them. Do you know what I mean? Like that comparisonitis, like we were saying. It's like look at that person and just say, like, thank you so much for showing me the way. Thank you so much for showing me that this is possible over here and over here and over here. And it's like, okay, so like how does that get to happen for me? You
Yeah,
know?
and you
And
can go and speak to those people as well. Like I've sort of said to a lot of my clients, I'm like, okay, if that person that you look up to, go and speak to them. Go and say,
yeah.
like, I really admire your success. Can you show me? Or like, what are the tips that you would give me to get to where you are? And it's good to get in those rooms that do expand you, and there are people who are ahead of you, and then learn from them. Success leaves clues.
Absolutely. Oh gosh, I absolutely concur with that,
Mm.
in the
And study them.
spaces.
Be like,
Yeah.
how are they talking? How are they holding themselves? What are their habits? How are they showing up? What was their foot in the door? How did they do that? And then that way you're in action because you might not know exactly how to get to where you want to get to, but that's an action that you can take. So then you're showing up and you're in aligned action, which creates momentum.
Yeah, and well, and the openness to being shown, right? So it's like you
Mm.
put yourself in the spaces and you don't particularly know the what's next. It's like just to take the step to be in there and create the connections,
Yeah, and
and
drop the ego as well.
yeah,
Drop because we're not like,
absolutely.
oh, they know more than me. I feel like you're stupid or inferior to that person. It's just knowing. I actually got this lesson. This was a real big point for me. So I got into martial arts. My husband does martial arts when I met him. And I remember really vividly this moment. And I was doing my grading. What was I? I think it was my red belt. So it was like my first belt. And I was with all these people doing different gradings at different levels. And my husband was doing the grading for his fifth Dan, which like he's been doing it for 50 years. And I remember being on the mat and seeing everybody really experienced. And there was no like, oh God, they're so much better than me. It was like they started here. They all started as little me getting my red belt. You follow the process. But the difference between me and them is they stuck with it. They did the work, they stayed consistent, and they did it and they got to where they are. It's like that's all there is. And it was a big kind of
Mm,
thing in life and success. Going, actually, we all started at the same place. It's like people who get road rage around learner drivers. I'm like, you were a bloody learner once. Like,
yeah.
we all started at the same place. It's just, and I remember having that moment on this mat, and it was really liberating because at the time I was in a different business model, and there was a lot of people who were really high up in it, and I felt a bit like, oh my God, can I do it? How am I going to do it? And starting to get into that comparinitis mindset, and self-doubt creeping in. I was like, no, it's red belts. They're just black belts and I'm a red belt, and we all start in the same place. You just keep going forward. And it was like, I remember like you remember Ali Beale? Do you remember the program in the
Yes,
day
yeah.
when she
Yeah.
used to see things happening, playing out in her head? Like, you would have gone
Yeah.
over and like punched somebody or was sliding over, and then like, what were you thinking? Oh, nothing, nothing. And it was all played out in her head. It was like that. Like, but me, just like, oh, having this moment, just like, and then it was like, you what? I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, it's just like in my head there, I'm getting all like philosophical about life, and I'm sat on this like stinky mat, like feet and men everywhere. But yeah, I remember having that was a really poignant moment for me, in because I'm the kind of person I want it all now. I'm
Yeah.
like, yes, I want it yesterday. Like, why aren't I there
Oh,
yet?
I bloody hear you on that. Yeah,
Yeah. So
but
it's learning the
but
art.
that has a purpose, right? Because it
Yeah,
keeps you motivated and showing up and in momentum.
yeah.
Because just because you want it all now doesn't mean that you figured it all out, right? It's just that you've just got
No.
the desire. So
Yeah,
it's not that there's an easier pathway. You're still kind of in the same situation as someone else who hasn't got maybe that burning thing. You're still like working it out on the way, but you have that continuum of like stepping forward, stepping forward. And I guess that links to what you were sharing about like, well, why not 16 million?
yeah,
like big goals are there to be big goals.
yeah.
They're not, and I think this is quite often people get their knickers in such a twist about goals because it's like I want this goal and I've got to work out exactly how to get there because I've got to make the goal happen. And, it's my belief, it's not particularly about making the goal happen, it's about the striving towards because like maybe the 16 million is going to be 20, right? Or or maybe something else. But it's the, like you said, the conviction, which is what you teach, right? So you have that conviction of like, well, like, why wouldn't I? Like it's almost like, why wouldn't that be possible? And then that keeps you putting yourself in the places and spaces and steps and all the action towards making 16 million happen, but it's not really about the actual goal being met. It's
Hmm.
about the belief around, isn't it? And the
Yeah.
actions towards. Like that
Yeah.
that's kind of
The
that's where
person
I
you
sit with the
become.
goals. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's the
exactly. Yeah.
person you become. The goal is the journey, not necessarily the destination.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
person you become along the way.
Yeah,
I always
yeah.
say it's like with life and especially the vision work I do, it's like a sat nav. Like, you can put a destination in. Like, we can all get in a car and turn in the ignition and drive, and we'll end up somewhere where we don't know where we're going to end up. But if you go, and I don't know why I always use Edinburgh. I've never even been to Edinburgh. Whenever I use this analogy, it's always fucking Edinburgh. I'm destined to go to
I think
Edinburgh,
you need to go to
obviously.
Edinburgh,
If there's
darling.
any
Yeah.
listeners watching, listening, yeah, hit me up for some Edinburgh. I don't know why. Oh, but if you imagine you get in the car, you put this postcode in, it's in Edinburgh, with conviction you will get to Edinburgh. You don't know exactly how you're going to get there. Your journey might look very different than when you started, because there might be roadworks, there might be a breakdown, you might break down, you might run out of petrol, you might have, something could happen along the way. But it's how you get there, how you choose to let all of that affect your journey. I turn up the tunes and have a car party and have a fucking great
Yeah.
time. Like, that's your journey. Take a friend, take some snacks, make some phone calls, catch up with people, or you can sit there getting pissed off because you're stuck in traffic. The journey doesn't always look like we plan it, but if you keep going, you will eventually, I will get to Edinburgh. But so
Yeah.
that's
And
that's the
I,
same
I,
analogy.
I would love to share. A few things come up for me there, but
You bet Edinburgh.
it's taken me. I have been to Edinburgh.
Oh,
Only once was beautiful, but
yeah. I'm going to need to drive there when I go, because I always use this analogy. I've
you
got to drive. I've got
absolutely
to do
have
a
to
road
drive
trip, haven't
there.
I?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
But on the car driving analogy, and this like really fits with what you're sharing. So I a few years ago developed a bit of a fear of motorway driving, and it obviously was less than helpful. And this was someone who like drove within 3 months of like passed within 3 months of turning 17, drove herself up to uni all over the place with cars tied together bits of string, like really shit cars, and was just like doing whatever. And then this kind of fear came in. And I was like, this is less than helpful when I have all these big goals, because I want to go to all these different festivals and events and be super independent. And anyway, I did some healing, did some inner child stuff with a friend, and it really freaking supported. And then what also developed is I called in support on my solo drives. So now I have an alter ego called Kimmy, and she's an Ocker Australian, right? And and I'm driving along, and it's like, oh, Kims, you are smashing it, love. Look at you fucking taking over in the fast lane, love. And it's just
You start shouting at everyone in that accent as well.
yeah.
You're like, get off the
Well,
fucking
no,
road,
no
man.
shouting, no, defo no shouting, because like we just totally
Yeah,
geek
you have a
off.
great
But
time.
but the analogy there is like I asked for support, right, along the way. And it has been a really supportive thing, because if I'm off to host at Glastonbury and then up in Newcastle at Tomicon, and all these places which are like chunky distances to go, like I need to be really comfy on the motorways for myself and everyone else. So my support team on the journey, and we can look on that in our journey with anything we do, makes a massive difference. And that support team is obviously it's just me, right?
And Kimmy.
I don't, but like Kimmy gets there and she cheerleads and we laugh and we celebrate and we do everything in between. And it like when you were speaking before, I just thought I've got to share with you about Kimmy, because I know you're
I
just
love it.
you'll
I
love
love
it.
it.
But it's identity shift, right? What you
Yeah.
were sharing before, like what you said this morning in that meeting you were at, and you said, "Oh, it's 16 million copies like slipped out." That was like oh,
Yeah.
okay. So now I'm the kind of
Upgrade.
person, I'm the kind of person who like
Yeah.
doesn't settle for a million. She's going for 16 million, So that identity shift of like who we are claiming to be, like how we're taking up space, who we
Mm.
are, what we're here for, you know, and that can feel batshit crazy, scary sometimes, for
Mm.
sure.
It should
And
do.
yeah, yeah.
It should feel scary. It should excite you and scare the fuck out of you
Well,
all
I
at
was
the
going to
same
say,
time.
and oh, so fucking delightful, right? So it's
Yeah.
like and then it's everything in between,
Yeah. If
you
not, it's
know?
too safe.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
If you
So
say it
it's,
and it's like, oh yeah, that's nice and comfy,
yeah,
it's like, nah, make it. Can we go a bit higher and a bit higher till your bum cheeks start to squeeze together, and you're like, that's so scary. That's
yeah,
it. That's the thing
yeah.
you need to aim for.
When we
And
hit the
again,
bum clench.
even just doing that, you start to expand.
Yeah.
You really do. You do, and you like you said, it's identity shift. You start to level up to become that next level identity.
Yeah. And so on that note, what I would really love to know is, and I think this is quite a hard question actually,
I love a hard question.
but you love a hard
I
question.
do. It's a challenge.
Like, what's the one thing that has helped you get to where you are right now? Like, it's hard
Wow.
to think of one thing when people ask the
Hard to
one thing
think of
question.
one.
However,
I Yeah, I would say that personal development books,
right.
like learning about myself and my brain. I have ADHD, and I didn't really understand what that was or that I had it. I just knew that I was a bit different and my brain worked differently, and it's frustrating and exhausting at times. I'm like, why can't I just be fucking normal and just do the thing that everyone else is doing? Why do I have to do this procrastination thing or build this up or do it like this? Or so really self-discovery, and understanding my brain, learning more about ADHD, learning how my brain works, learning about neuroscience within the brain. All of it's kind of brain work, neuroplasticity, learning that you can change your brain, you can become who you want to become. So yeah, I think books have
Mm,
are the one thing I would say. Learning, I'm such a bookworm. I have dyslexia as well, so I listen to a lot. I do read some books. I recommend people to read rather than Audible, and vice versa, the other way around. But yeah, even 20 years I've been reading, and at the beginning my development was more around spiritual development, learning about, like, when I started to learn about spirituality, I was just like a sponge. I was like, oh my God, how does this work and how does that work and tell me more. And it just went down like so much research and books and research and geeking off. And that was before the internet. That was
mm,
before you could just, or AI, you could just ask, like, oh, how does this work or how does that work? So it was reading all these books. And so I've always had this thirst for knowledge, and I think I always will. I think we never stop learning.
yeah.
So yeah, I think that's been the biggest. If I had to choose one thing, books
Yeah,
that
I
have
love that.
shaped me.
And what that speaks of to me is awareness.
Mm.
You know, like you're saying, you know, you're aware of your ADHD, or I guess like more, I guess in that it's like it's a journey of learning, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
So that awareness of who we are, how we tick, what supports us, what doesn't support us, and
absolutely.
finding like the ways. So it sounds like the awareness piece on the books being like a kind of a full soul nourishment, if you
Yeah.
like. So
It's
you
just, I think it's
can,
like you said, it's awareness. It is like the more self-aware you are and you understand and go, okay, that's why I do this. This is why I do that. This is why they do this, and this is why they do that, or this is how this is done. And yeah, you grow yourself, but you've got that awareness about yourself. Like my mindset now through personal development and implementing what I've learned is so strong. Like I've suffered a lot with mental health in my past, and now I can feel it. Actually, I think it was last Monday or Tuesday, I started to have a really bit of a mental health crisis just for a day. My husband was like, "You okay?" I'm
mm,
like, "No, I'm actually
yeah,
not." And this is so out of the blue for me, but I could feel it. I said, "I need to sit with this and process this." And I think
mm,
every time you put yourself in a situation, I think because I am putting myself in this situation, bringing this book out, it is bringing up more, like there's
yeah,
always more stuff we can clear, so it is
uh-huh,
bringing up more beliefs, more kind of like that identity shift is like I'm shedding that old Lucia who wouldn't be publishing a book for it's going to go out to 60 million people like that. I'm kind of stepping into it. So I always say when you get out of your comfort zone, that voice is going to get louder, and it's how you
mm,
manage that. But I had this self-awareness to know, okay, I'm having a mental health crisis. These are the tools that I use. This is what I need to do. Where before that might have lasted for a month or 2 months because I didn't have the tools or
yeah,
the self-awareness. So
yeah,
it's like I always teach it. We're not here to be perfect. Like, what the fuck even is perfect? Like, fuck that. And
Yeah.
we're not striving for perfection, or we're not striving for, that everything's fine and I'm really happy, and you just want to
Yeah.
punch somebody, that toxic positivity. It's just like, yay, just think happy thoughts and everything's going to be okay and you'll manifest everything
Yeah.
you want. It's like, it doesn't work like that, honey, I'm afraid, because those emotions get suppressed. So you learn to how to deal with those and how to bring them up and how to release them. And knowing that all emotions are valid, all emotions are there to
Mm,
show us something, they're our guide. So we need
yeah.
to honor that, and we need to sit with that, not try and mask it or pretend, oh, I shouldn't feel like this because this is a bad feeling. There's no such thing. I hate the word positivity. I actually said the H word. I never say that.
Mm,
I'm not a fan of good and bad feelings. So that's a bad feeling. There's
yeah.
positive or negative feelings. Every feeling is valid. Every emotion is there because it's needed. It's just how long we decide to say in that. That's where the personal development comes in. That's where the self-awareness comes in. You know that it's not you, it's an emotion that you're experiencing. What's it trying to show me, and how do I move through this? Because with the emotional scale, like with joy is one of the highest vibrational on emotions you can experience, the highest frequency on the emotional scale. But if you're grieving or if you're on the floor, you can't just go from 10, like zero, down in the lower vibrational frequency. So I call it lower vibrational and higher vibrational. Every emotion has that frequency that can be measured. And the joy is actually above love in the emotional frequency scale. Because love is loving it in, and joy is when you can express that love. So that's when you
Mm.
come to a new level, and then you have peace and then enlightenment above them. But you need to experience the lower vibrational frequencies as well. They're not bad. There's nothing wrong, but they're there to show you. And we always grow. Like, I think it was Tony Robbins who said our biggest breakthroughs, your breakdowns or your breakthroughs. Like, you have to go through the shit. We normally have to crumble and then you rebuild yourself. And that's the identity shift as well, isn't it? But you have to go through the shit first. Most people would say what shaped them. Books have shaped me, but the shit has shaped me as well.
Oh my God, yeah. Like all the shit that we've traveled through
Hmm.
in life
Yeah.
has carved us, hasn't it? But I
Yeah.
think this awareness piece, so I think for anyone listening, it's really important to remember that, when these things come up, when we're in the fields and like you said, like a mental health crisis day and whatever, it's like meet all of that with loving kindness.
Yeah.
Because so often what we can flip to is like, oh, why am I feeling like this again? Or like judging the emotion or the feeling. Judging the like maybe the action that happened before and like, oh, I've repeated that old pattern. And like, honestly, we are glorious works in progress, aren't we?
Yeah.
And nothing is ever about getting it right and perfection.
No,
It's
no,
like,
nobody has got their shit together.
no,
No,
absolutely
that's
no.
no, it's not, it's life. No one physically could. There's too much shit to juggle to have it all
Yeah,
together.
yeah,
It will look better in some days than other days, but you
yeah,
realize that. And I think the more we can be authentic and show up and show all the shit,
yeah.
not just the good shit, but show like, actually, I did it on, was it Friday? I was going to an event that I had in my diary for months. It was a big charity event. So excited, planned it all, had my outfit ready, put my sat nav on in the morning, went to open the door to get my car, and completely forgot that my husband was away for the weekend with the car. I had no car. Open the door. I'm
Shit.
like, but I knew he was going away. It wasn't a surprise that he was going away. I just didn't put two and two together and think,
Yeah.
I've got friends who are going who I could have got a lift with. I just thought I had my car. That was literally until I opened the door to get in the car. I was like, fuck, I don't have a car today. So what does a normal person do? Rather, like, I figured it out. I got an emergency taxi. It was quite far away, this thing as well, so it cost a small fortune. But I was like, I have to get there. But of course, I went on social media, as you do. I talk a lot on my stories. If you're on Instagram, I don't do a lot of posting, but I do a lot of stories. I'm like, oh my God, I just fucked up. Like, what the hell? Has anyone else, like, please tell me someone else has done this? And the amount of people who've messaged me and gone, oh my God, yeah, I've done something like this. Yeah, perimenopause, da 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 da. And I've got ADHD plus the perimenopause together. It's like a spicy little soup at the moment. And it's like, what was I saying? It's constant. And it
Hmm.
just validates. People are like, yeah, Lucy looks like she's got her shit together. And they're like, oh no, she hasn't. It's like
Yeah.
we're all normal, we're all humans trying to juggle. I think especially women. I work with women in business, and you're trying to hold like traditionally women didn't have jobs. Their full-time job would be to look after the home and children, because that is a full-time job. But now they're doing that plus having a business or plus having a job. And in this modern crazy world that we live in, and we're trying to go to the gym and we're trying to have a social life and we're trying to do this. It's like, what the actual fuck? Like,
Yeah.
it's okay to drop the ball because there's a lot of
Oh
balls
my gosh.
spinning, and
Yeah.
just own it. Don't, again, it's how you react rather than beating yourself up over it and getting into your head and putting yourself down. Just have that saying in your head, like, no one's got their shit together, it's fine. It's okay. I
Like
dropped the ball, I could pick it up if I need to, or just throw it at the wall.
yeah, and it comes back to permission, doesn't it?
Hmm.
Permission to feel all the feels, permission to like for things to not work out quite how we thought they were going to work out.
Yeah.
Permission. I think so often we just don't give ourselves permission. So that's where that kind of striving towards perfection energy, because whilst like perfect, as we know, doesn't exist and all the things, there are many people striving for perfection, even though they know
Mm.
that that is like kind of a fallacy, right? Because it's just this inbuilt conditioning that they've been doing as a default pattern for however long. So, probably one of the kindest things we could gift ourselves is like permission just to be,
Yeah.
permission to feel everything that is available to us. Not like you say, this kind of shiny, the shiny energy of like, yay! It's like it's just bullshit. And if you're
Perfectionitis.
well, yeah, and if you're trying for the shiny, shiny, like everything's amazing, then like what you're doing is you're not recognizing something going on over here. And then what happens is like, boom, eventually that
Mm.
stuff comes and bites you on the arse, doesn't it? So it's like permission just to feel like you say, just if you get up and everything's tits up. I've done a ton of stuff over the last 10 years. And as you know, like I teach joy. Like joy is a beautiful, abundant, vibing energy. And I'll have days where I'm like, fuck, I'm feeling a million miles away from joy. How do I get to be today? What do I get to do? First thing I do is I like meet myself with a ton of freaking love for however I'm feeling and why ever I'm feeling. And sometimes we don't even bloody know, right? And start from there. Like start with love, start with kindness, start with compassion, and permission that it's okay
It's
to feel
okay.
like this, but like we don't want to stay there. And this is
Mm.
where that I think willingness to look at it differently, willingness to approach things differently, willingness to let go of some things that maybe have been dragging us on the ankle, following us around for a long time. It's like, do you know what? Like time for that stuff to shift. Yeah, like permission is a powerful piece for us, isn't it?
It really is. And it is giving ourselves permission. And the more you can show up and be vulnerable and be open and share, the conversations now are so different around mental health or other struggles that people are going through. Even with menopause, like hormones, I've got all that other stuff I just said about being a woman thrown in, and you're trying to juggle all that. And then you throw the fucking hormones in.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. Just when you thought you had enough balls to juggle and life was a bit more mental. And yeah, I know that's definitely a big factor for me in my mental health. And that's a new piece of the puzzle that's come in. So it's like, okay, well, how do we then deal with that? But the more we can be open and talk about it, then the more it gives other people permission to be open and talking about it, because it is sharing it. When I was having that episode last week, and it's the first time in ages, when I spoke to my husband, I was like, I need to share this. I can't keep it
Mhm.
in. Like, I need to be open and talk about how I'm feeling. And I know it's not me. And I know that I will get through this, but I just need to be in this today and listen to what this is telling me. And I'm having a yeah, just not feeling good, which is so out of character. But then I know my tools. Sometimes the tools work. I've got the tools in my toolkit to get my vibration back into a vibration of one of the higher vibrations rather than sitting in that low vibrational state for long. and not they won't all work at once. When you're really feeling that and you're in the depths of it, you're like, just put on a happy song. You're like, fuck off with your happy song.
Yeah,
I don't want
ram
to
it
listen to
up
a
your
happy song.
ass.
I want to listen to something depressing and
Yeah.
something that I can just wallow and especially if you've gone for, the breakup songs. It's so
Yeah.
Bridget Jones, isn't it? When she's just there like, pack your bags and pack your, it just, you just want to listen to something that you just want to let the emotion out and cry. So maybe
Yeah.
when I'm in that moment, that my songs wouldn't work because I'm like, I just need to feel this energy.
Yeah.
So I would go to a different tool. Maybe it was gratitude. Like gratitude is one of the biggest tools for me. That's absolutely transformed my life. A book called The Magic that I read or found me in 2014. And that was a huge shift. I feel like it's like I always say life is like a big puzzle and you get different parts of the puzzle. You get different pieces of the puzzle and then you put it together and it all kind of makes sense. And that
Mm,
was a really big key piece for me that helped shift and start to really learn about frequencies and vibrations and how much that can change you.
yeah.
Even if you don't feel great and you can just literally I do it for my hands. Like I just give so much gratitude for your hands and the things you can see right away and then your eyes and you can't be. I'd say there's a universal law. If you're in a poncho, it's a bit weird. Um, I love ponchos. I was
I
like,
love a
it
poncho.
was like it's like a universal law. You can't be unhappy in a poncho, right?
Yeah.
If you've got a poncho on, you can't be unhappy.
I feel like that about my dry robe. It's an anchor for me. It's an
Yeah,
anchor. I think these things is
yeah.
like we can anchor things in which help us feel grounded, safe,
Mm,
loved,
yeah.
secure, you know? So
Just make you smile as well. It's a poncho,
yeah,
like or a cape.
yeah.
I love a cape. A cape on with
I
like
yeah.
flying around. Just
Yeah,
that shifts
true.
your vibration as well.
Yes.
But it's learning those things, isn't it? And gratitude is one of those things that when you're in a state of giving gratitude, even the hardest thing to give gratitude is the thing that's causing you the pain.
Mm,
That's true mastery when you can be truly grateful, even through gritted teeth at the beginning, for the things that are shit or the things that have caused you pain. But there's always something to be grateful for. I
yeah.
love the saying with Buddha, be grateful for today that you've learned a lot. If you've not learned a lot, you've learned a little. If you haven't learned a little, you still have your health. If you don't have your health, then you're still alive.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like you can strip it back and strip it back and strip it back. And it's you can be grateful when you feel great and you're like, yeah, I'm grateful for this and that. But on a deep level, that's easy. The
Yeah.
hard bit to be grateful for is when things aren't going well. And
When you're in the shit.
one of the biggest ones as an example that I know a lot of people relate to is money. Like if you're in a state of lack and you don't have a lot of money, it's hard to be grateful. Like if a bill comes through and you've got to pay out money, but that's one of the things that can shift your financial situation quite quickly when you're in the state of gratitude for what you do have. Even if you don't have anything, you're still
Yeah.
grateful for what you've had. And then if you're in this place of lack and a space of resentment for money, let's say, it could be this, you can apply this to anything in life, but you're going to keep that's the vibration that you're going to be in. And those are the patterns and the loops that you're going to keep repeating and repeating. And then, why have I got no money? Money's fucking shit. Why have I not got it?
Mm,
And you're like, oh, that only happens to these people. And, in that state, rather than actually going into gratitude, like deep, deep, deep soul level gratitude. And it physically, they've proven this now. Dr. Joe Dispenza's a master on this. It's one of his lifetime works about gratitude, how it physically changes the chemistry within your body like with doing gratitude for
it's
prolonged periods of time. It's like it
yeah.
boosts your immune system. Like I'm like,
It is
wow.
no small thing, and I think it's probably a hugely underused
Oh,
resource.
it's one of the simplest things.
The people, well, people can just be really chuck away about it. But
Yeah.
like I've practiced gratitude for quite a long time now, and I really recognized it when I lost my dad suddenly 5 years ago, because losing someone in COVID times was
Mm,
for sure a more
sorry to hear
challenging
that. Yeah.
which like a more challenging time,
Mm,
right?
of
Because
course.
of, funerals being limited to 30, people not having seen each other so much and all the things. And honestly, what saved me through all of that was me finding all the ways that I could feel deep gratitude around my dad.
Mm,
And honestly, it was an absolute game changer for how I navigated grief. I could feel joy and I could feel heartbreak and grief, and I could
mm,
hold both those energies because I was like, well, okay, I got round there, okay, he got out of hospital. Oh, that dark chocolate like dropped into the hospital. He'd eaten some of it, like I tried to find all these little
Mm.
pieces to make like his sudden like loss and just suddenly not being in our lives anymore just feel that bit easier for me to deal with. He died on my nana's birthday, and my nana was like,
Mm.
she was like a parent to me. So I also felt a ton of freaking love and gratitude that happened to be her birthday, because that I just framed that as like a lucky thing as opposed to do you know what I mean? I tried to take the pieces from what obviously is like a really like terrible traumatic time, any kind of loss through death, isn't it? However, I just really wanted to look at it differently and kind of honor that. Do you know
Mm.
what I mean? So
Totally.
like
Yeah.
my lived experience from
Yeah.
gratitude is,
Yeah.
God, it's got depth.
Yeah,
It's
and that's
got
what I mean when
such
that's the
depth.
hardest time when you're grieving and you're in that, that depths of that's the strongest emotions I think we can feel. And there is no
Yeah,
right or wrong way to grieve. People have got to do it in the way that feels good to them. There's a lot of
yeah,
like brush it under the carpet, like, oh, you shouldn't have those feelings, don't cry. It's like all that crap. Hopefully
yeah,
we're through that phase now. But to be able to hold that and to choose gratitude in your darkest moments, that's when it is the most powerful.
yeah.
Absolutely, that you can choose that. And I actually have it tattooed on my wrist. Gracias. Because I lived
Ah,
in
I've
Spain
never
for
seen
11 years. Have you
that.
not seen that?
Oh no.
I always say your left is receiving and your right is giving. So this is me giving thanks, and it's my anchor. So no matter what happens in life, this just brings me back into alignment.
Oh, I love that.
And it's a little heart above the little eye is like a little heart. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like vintage.
Oh,
Yeah, it's cute, isn't it? My husband had it tattooed at the same time, and he got his in a different font on his arm up here.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
it's my anchor. Gratitude really, it just shifts and changes, and not just like, oh, someone opened the door, thank you. Oh, someone gave you a present. Oh, thank you. That, deeply giving gratitude. Again, like I said, using it as a tool in your darkest moments, but using it as a tool no matter what you want to bring into your life. Giving gratitude for it is if it's already happened is a great manifestation tool that you can work
yeah,
with. Giving gratitude for everything that you've had, it just and how you will feel more joy in that moment, you will feel more peace in that moment, you will feel more love in that moment, and that's all it is, isn't it? It's taking back your power and knowing that you have the choice of how you want to feel in each moment. So the event will stay the same, it's your response to the event will determine what the outcome is.
yeah. When you have a gratitude practice, when you actually feel into the energy of
Mm,
gratitude as a like a default pattern, you're building that muscle, so you build your joy
yeah.
muscle. And because you're building your joy muscle, what happens is then it feels much more easy to fall into gratitude. So
Mm.
actually
It
they like
becomes
they ha
default.
yeah, they dance together, these two
Yeah,
energies,
they really
So
do.
if joy is something that feels like a struggle or it feels a bit far away, a great way for us to start kind of opening the gateway, if you like, is to practice gratitude daily, to
Mm.
like, and by that, like, I might like feel it, notice it, like you can write it down for sure, but like, you can be like in your garden and look at, so I'm looking out the window now, there's like, because it's starting to like spring into life in
Spring.
the garden,
Yeah.
right? I'm looking and there's tiny little yellow flowers on one of the bushes, so like
Mm.
it's, I think so often we're just like moving around doing our things and we don't notice,
Mm.
and in the not noticing, that's when we miss things like gratitude
Yeah.
and joy and peace and love and like
It's not
oh
being present, is it? When those
yeah.
moments, I love the saying, stop and smell the roses.
Hmm.
That's it. It's about being present, actually taking that moment to stop and appreciate what's in front of you, whether that is roses or whatever it is. It's a metaphor, isn't it, for what's actually in your life.
Yeah.
And then giving gratitude. You are, when you say about, oh yeah, we want to be present, like that is what presence is.
Yeah.
We're not thinking about what we need to do or where we need to go or getting somewhere. We're actually just being and allowing ourselves, again, comes back to permission, giving yourself permission to be present in that moment. And gratitude will help you be present because you're giving gratitude for what is there right now and in your life. So, yeah, it's definitely one of the most powerful tools. Again, that came from a book. I
Yeah.
knew about it, but I didn't practice it in that way or
Yeah.
see it in that way. So that was a huge book for me and doing the practices. Although I do find it hard to stick to things for prolonged periods of time. Another
Yeah.
wonderful ADHD trait.
Yeah. Well,
But you
like, and
do
you
it
won't
your
be
way.
alone in that, right? So, but it's
Yeah.
permission to like come back, come back,
Yeah,
come back.
exactly. Exactly. And it's something I did. I remember when that book came out and I had it and when I started to have my own personal, I run a free Facebook group during COVID, like a personal development group. And I did normally most Januaries I would do the book with everybody for the whole month of January. We would do the book, and that was good because it kept me accountable as well. So we would do the
Yeah.
practices, and one of them. So what I do my the 11/11 every year on 11/11 I do like a free challenge, and one of the practices was because I like people to embody it. Like it's nice to journal gratitude, but I want you to embody it. So one of the practices that I do with people, and I did it on the 11/11 challenge, was to set you an alarm for 1 minute or however long you can do longer if you want, but just 1 minute is great. And you run around your house and you actually touch the item and tell it why you're grateful for it.
Oh,
And you
love
can
that.
get kids. If you've got kids, get kids. Kids love this practice. Like if you can teach children the power of gratitude at their age, like wow, I learned that when I was what mid 30s.
Mm,
And yeah, kids to do it. But yeah, you're telling that thing, even like your radiator, like, oh, I'm just so grateful for the heat that you give me. You make me feel so warm and cozy and you're amazing. And then you turn to the next thing, it might be your coffee machine. Like, oh, I just love you, coffee machine. You're amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Whatever it is, might be your slippers. Like, do this practice. If you're listening to this podcast now, like go and do it afterwards, like have a minute and you just feel your vibration change. Like just that practice is like a layering of joy because you're feeling the joy
yeah.
for those items and you realize like actually this is life. Like these are the things that I'm most grateful for.
Yeah.
And there'll be loads around your house. It's a workout as well. You're getting a nice little workout. You're having
Yeah.
fun. It's like it's a great practice to do that do that whenever you want. But if you can do that, the more you do that, and I had feedback of people who did the challenge, and they were like, "I've practiced gratitude for 20 years. I've never done that before, and felt it like I felt it doing that
Yeah.
practice, and I absolutely loved it because you're not just thinking about it, you're embodying it. And when you
Yeah.
can invoke more of the senses together, you've got touch, you've got smell, you've got all these different senses working together. You're anchoring in that vibration of joy at such a higher level.
Well, yeah, and like it's really playful, isn't it? And,
Yeah.
and and I think the thing is, we get very bogged down as adults in adulting.
Yeah.
And whilst we might play, it's very much occasional play. I'm
Yeah.
going to this event, so I'll play then. And
Mhm.
actually, what my big belief is the way we get to access more of ourselves. So in so doing, more joy and all the juicy energies is by allowing ourselves to come back to that playful childlike state because
Mm,
in that energy we are these creative like magnetic full soul level selves, because
mm,
we find the little things like the
mm,
biggest joys. And that shift point, instead of things having to be amazing and on a special occasion, it's like you say, you can run up to that radiator and go, oh my God, I just love how warm and
yeah.
cozy and
Give
gorgeous
it a
you are.
cuddle. Yeah.
Yes. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like we so often get in our own way because it's like,
Mm.
oh, like, oh, I'll feel silly or do you know what I mean? And so
Hmm.
what we do is we can become our own kind of play blockers, joy blockers, fun blockers, because that's not for us anymore. But like, I just think that's where we need to get back to because that's when we will just feel in this energy of gratitude for the simplest
Hmm.
things because actually that they go way deeper than we really allow them to believe. And and feel grateful for, like all the things around us that we just like are blinking at and not really absorbing. So anything where we're bringing like that playful energy, like much like when we do laughter yoga, it's like, oh my God, like the layers come off and you go, whoa, I'm back in the room.
Yeah. Like people forgot how to have fun.
Yeah,
Or if you have fun, you're not serious, or you need, life is serious. Like
yeah,
we definitely need to have. I prescribe it for my clients. I'm like, you're blocking your manifestations because you're so tightly holding on to everything. You just need to let go and have fun. And they're like, but I've got
yeah,
all this work to do. I'm like, go and have fun. Go and
yeah,
have fun, and you will come back, and the thing that you want will happen without you even knowing it because you're in a
yeah,
vibration of fun. And they go, oh, I feel so much better. And the things are flowing again because when we hold on and we try to control, we're in this false state all the time. Like, I really want this thing and it has to happen. And like, ugh. And like, life is pressurized, being an adult, like, it's the biggest scam. Like, who even signed us up for this? Like,
yeah. I
it's
hear
just,
you.
I was like, what? Sometimes I'm not, some days I'm like, well, I'm done being an adult. I'm just going to be a cat today. And I just lie on the
Yes.
bed with the cats. I've got 4 cats. I'm quite obsessed with cats. Or when I used to be a mermaid, I was like, yeah, I'm done with adulting today. I'm just going to go be a mermaid for the day. So I was actually a
Mm,
professional mermaid. If you're thinking, what do you mean you were a
yeah.
mermaid? It's you lost the plot there. It was
She
it
really
was a
was.
career move for a while. But that was fun and it was childlike and but yeah, the
Yeah,
more you can have and scheduling it like you do, especially if you're like if you've got your own business or a career person, like you it can be a lot. So have fun with it. The more you have fun, things shift, your vibration changes and you shift. It's such a like pleasurable way.
yeah,
Because you're in flow, you get into flow state, you're back in your body, you're back in your energy, and you're being present in that. So, yeah, whether that looks like running around and hugging your radiator, go and do some laughter yoga, like whatever you need to do, or just
yeah,
go and have fun with your mates and like do the
yeah.
things. Like, I love dancing and I don't do it enough. I used to, every weekend, I'd be out dancing. And I'm like, oh, I don't do that. I used to be so fit as well doing it. Like that was
Mm,
great. So yeah, I'm consciously bringing in more fun to my
yeah,
life because it can very easily. I call it the mechanics of life. Life is busy. There's more demands on our time and our energy and our focus than ever before. So being conscious to actually go, right, I need to create more fun. I need to do things that bring me more joy. Whether it's the simple moments, what fun looks different to everybody. So you've got to get clear on what is it that actually you love to do that is fun for you. Dancing for me, people might be like, oh my God, I thought of dancing. I hate dancing, but it might be running or, the thought of running. I'm like, look, hats off to Cat for all her running in marathons. I'm not a big runner. I went to soft play with my cousins, and I'm so excited I managed to get in though because normally you can't get in.
right,
You've
yeah,
got to have little people, and normally because it's the one in Southend where you just put the kids in and they run wild. The adults don't really go in, but my little one, little Ace, was feeling like he was getting a bit scared. So I was like, I'll go in. And one of the things I just jumped down in the soft play. I'm like, oh my God, my knees have gone. This is the joys of getting a little bit older. So yeah, I might not be running or on trampolines for a little while. But yeah, dancing brings me joy. Music
yeah,
brings me joy. Like and consciously, and I was like, I've just not had enough music on recently. Like just having it on the first thing in the morning now and being conscious about it. Because when we're in, like I was saying, those mechanics of life and you're busy and you're busy and busy, you just go, go, go. And you go through the things that we have to do, and then you get to the end of the day and you're just exhausted. You're like, oh, I'm done now. But
yeah.
how many things have you consciously done today that brought you personally joy?
Yeah, and I think actually probably the biggest thing is we don't really ask ourselves. So,
Mm,
and I in the first episode of this season, that's exactly what I was speaking to. It's like, do you ask yourself what brings you joy?
mm,
Do you ask yourself where happiness comes from for you? And I think we just don't talk about
mm,
joy enough. We don't talk about happiness enough. We might talk about it in a striving energy. And I think it gets much more of an energy around a like a complaining energy and a not
mm,
enough of it. But actually, we need to flip the script around it and have nourishing conversations about what joy feels like, what it looks like, what creates it, like what's been the most joyful moment that you've had over this week. Like we just conversation around it. Give joy the energy. If you give her the energy, she'll go, "Whoa, I'm here." Like don't leave her sitting down in the corner of a room. She doesn't like it. She wants to be out.
She
She
wants
wants
to be having fun.
she wants to
Well,
be out
this
dancing.
I totally relate to this. So I did when I had my retreat center in Ibiza, I was writing for a one of the papers out there. We had a monthly article, and it was I can't remember the exact what we were doing, but I remember this month it was about happiness. So I was writing this article and I was doing loads of research about the kind of science and facts and stuff around happiness, and I came up with this exercise, and I literally just got a piece of paper. In the middle of the piece of paper, I drew a little smiley face, and that was me happy. And I did like a spidergram, and I started to write down all the things that make me happy, bring you joy, that you love, whatever words you connect with there. And then I had this whole page, and I was going deep with it. So rather than just going, "Oh, friends bring me joy," probably not all friends bring you a lot of joy. You're like your family, or music. Okay, well, what music? What is it about that music? Travel. Where do you like to travel? What is it about that place? So you're kind of going, why? You're peeling back the layers of the onion to really get to the core of it, because it can
Mm,
be very surface level. Like, oh, this brings me joy. But it's like, okay, well, why? How?
yeah.
Like, what does that actually look like? And you go deeper with it. So you start to really see. And then I looked at that and I asked myself the question, how many of these things on this piece of paper am I doing on a
Mm,
weekly, daily, weekly, or monthly basis? At that time in my life, it was nothing. It was
wow.
literally, and I knew there and then I needed to change my life. And
Yeah.
over the next year, I did like completely change my life from leaving my business, leaving the island, leaving my husband, going on a big journey of self-discovery. But that was the catalyst. So a lot of the work I do now starts with that. You have to reconnect with you, take off all the hats and the responsibilities. And I did a lot of the women I do this with, oh, my children. I'm like, but no, it's not about them and what makes them happy now. It's you. Like,
Yeah.
if you've done so much for other people and you try to make everybody else happy, but what about you? Like you
Mm,
need to connect with that, and that creates the vision. So the vision work I do, it has to come from that place. And a lot of people are chasing these things, or you've got big goals, which is great, and I've always got big goals, but how you can bring your vision into life in the day and the now is like here and the now as well, by just incorporating those things. When we look at that list, most of the things on those lists are free, and
yeah.
you're just not intentionally choosing to do those things. Or one lady was like, well, I do all these things, this is my life, and I was like, well, how do you now sustain that? So she actually
Mm,
went on to go, actually it's my health I need to focus on, because if I want to keep living this life, I've really created the joy, but if my health isn't well, I can't maintain that. So that was what she needed to work on within her vision. But yeah, until we have that, you people, and it gives people permission as well to go, I thought I needed all these things to make me happy, external sources, all these things, when really you look at that list, and it, for me, even just watching my cats in the garden, like
yeah.
I stop everything and I'm just like, I'm literally going to have 5, 10 minutes, whatever it is, maybe half an hour, just sitting there doing fuck all apart from watching my cats, because that brings me joy, and giving myself complete permission to go, I know I've got a pile of washing over there. I know I've got work I need that could be getting done. But right now I'm choosing joy. I'm
Yeah.
choosing this moment, and I'm being so present in that moment because I know that makes me feel good. And then I'm starting to do the work again afterwards from a new vibration that is like, yeah, I feel
Yeah.
great because I've just had this little moment of bliss, little
Yeah.
bliss bubbles like throughout the day. And some weeks are different than others. Some weeks are crazy. Life is different. Some weeks will have a lot more pressure and a lot more focus in different areas. But just ask yourself, how can you bring those into your life on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis? And if that's like, my life was so out of alignment, so out of alignment. But again, I was just going through the motions. On paper, that was my dream, but the dreamer got lost along the way, and I'd lost myself. I was literally having a nervous breakdown at the time as well, my poor nervous
Yeah.
system. So it had to change, but you consciously, something had to shift, and that was what shifted within me, was having that moment of awareness to actually check in with myself and go, fuck,
Yeah.
I'm not happy. I'm not doing
Yeah.
anything that makes me happy. I'm really unhappy. And I want more from I want to be happy. I want more from my life. I don't well, this isn't the life that I don't want to live this life and sustain this life, but I'm the only one who can change it.
Yeah.
No one's coming to save you. You take the ownership.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to say. It's like awareness again, like
Hmm.
awareness, like actually asking yourself the question
Mm.
and
And it can be
like
uncomfortable. It might be uncomfortable, especially if
totally,
you preempted the answers. You already know that you're not living your life in alignment or you're not happy or fulfilled in certain areas. It is tough. It's not easy. It's not like, oh yeah, let's just sit down and like work out what's out of alignment and what's shit. It is hard. And it took
yeah,
me, it wasn't like I made that decision instantly. It took me, that was the button and kind of the switch had flicked on. And then it was like things like started to unravel and things started to change. It wasn't like an instant, but
yeah.
yeah, you've got to have that awareness, like you said, isn't it? First of all.
Awareness, loving kindness for the situation you find yourself in, and
Mm,
then what's next, you know?
yeah.
This is the perfect point for us to do some laughter breaths, my darling,
Oh, yay.
before we wrap up. Oh, it's been such a juicy conversation. I feel like we could have
Mm.
our own podcast, like doing regular sessions. Like we've got a lot to
A
share
lot,
and
a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot.
a lot to
Yeah,
say and a lot of synergy in my
yeah,
work and your work, you know.
absolutely.
Um, right, so let's have some laughter breaths because we've had some big conversations. Anyone listening might be feeling some big things, but just know that if you are feeling some big things through the things we've covered, it's like meet it with loving kindness and curiosity and like see what you're being shown, right? And also joining with the laughter breaths because it's really good for us to kind of create an energetic shift around how we might be feeling. So, Lucia, my love, all we're going to do, we're going to breathe in through our noses and then we're just going to breathe out with some really beautiful, hearty laughter. Okay, so let's go.
Yeah.
And breathing out.
Ah, oh, I've got a funny laugh. What even is that? I did have a laugh crisis once. I was like, I don't know how to laugh. I don't know how my laugh sounds. And
Do you
yeah,
know how to laugh? Right,
but
let's
I
go again.
didn't. Honestly, Kat, I had a laugh crisis. And I was super paranoid. This is more in my teen years. I was like, everyone's laughing. I don't know. Like there's sound coming out, but it doesn't sound like a
Ah,
laugh.
ah.
I did go, I was like, what even is that? And sometimes I just, yeah. Anyway, I found my laugh now. It does it, yeah. A lot of it is
I'm
like,
sure you have the most beautiful laugh. It's hard for me to hear over my laugh, I have to say, but all laugh, like whenever I
there's
teach
no right or wrong
laughter,
laugh, though, is it?
yeah,
That was me being a teenager getting stuck in my head
yeah,
and
I'm like
comparing, comparing again.
all laughs are what. Let's do one more and let's see if
Okay.
we can leave your inner teenager or like just give her a little cuddle on the exhalation. So let's take a breath in and then breathing out.
That is my laugh.
Ah.
Oh, like a little firework that goes wee, ooh, woo, and then off she goes again.
I love it though. Like all laughs are always welcome. And I think we
Mm.
block ourselves from part of our joy because we're scared of our laughter, or we wonder whether our laughter is too much, or whether it's not enough, or have we laughed for long enough? Is it loud enough? If it is it too
Ooh, and I
quiet?
yawn as well now after
With
the laugh.
like so
Might
with the
get more
release,
oxygen.
right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, like we can get really caught up in our heads around
Lovely yawn as well.
laughter, and it's
Mm,
our like it's intrinsic, like it's
mm,
completely innate, and it's our like really, I think probably our most powerful tool we can use
mm.
for change work. You know, we
You
don't
know what we
use it
should
as powerfully as we
organise?
can. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. That just came to me then. We should have, they have like flash mobs.
Yes.
We should have like a laughter flash mob
Of course we should.
where we just go out and everyone starts laughing and then giving everyone else permission and just spread this, like go to like Hyde Park or somewhere really public and get
Yes.
loads of us sat in different places and we all come together and we're literally just crying with laughter. Maybe we get like a tissue company involved and we can give out tissues for people
Yes.
crying with laughter.
Right, let's do
This
it.
is
So
my brain. Yeah.
I did this at I was speaking Mind Body Spirit
Yeah.
festival in Olympia last May, and we did a laughter flash mob. I was due on the stage, but I started in the seats and got
Mm.
people
Oh, I
laughing.
love it.
So we have done an attempt of that, but it's not as big as the vision that I have for my full laughter
Yes.
flash mob. So
Yeah. You know I love organising
let's
stuff. I'm
park
in.
that idea there and let's chat about that another time and make it
Yes.
happen.
There we go. If any tissue companies are listening,
Oh,
can you up for
yes, I hadn't thought of tissue
sponsoring it?
companies. That's a
Yeah.
great
You laugh
idea.
so hard. I love laughing till you cry or you
Yeah,
actually wet yourself.
yeah,
Like I've got
yeah.
quite a weak bladder, so that will happen quite often. You literally piss yourself. I'm like, yeah, tick, done that. But just laughing that hard and uncontrollable,
Yeah,
it is medicine. It is
it
like
is total medicine.
I love
Yeah,
it. And the funniest thing sometimes, like I can't even believe I'm laughing at that. It's just
yeah,
I love me and my husband sending each other little videos and memes, especially around cats or
of
something.
course.
It's just we're like, oh my God, it just laughter is everything. It really is. So
It
yeah,
really is. It
it
really is, my
it
darling.
is.
Oh, Lucia, you have been amazing.
Oh,
I have just absolutely loved our conversation, and this is what I love about this whole series is it's just people sharing in their truth, their realness, and sharing about, like love, laughter, life, joy, sadness, everything in between. So it's just been like such a pleasure. Before we wrap up, my darling, obviously I'll share links and stuff on the show notes, but yeah, anything you want to say to wrap up? If you've got oh, you have got something big coming up. Of course she has. Fuck yes, she has.
yes, I've
So
got
over
my
to you, my darling.
thanks, Kat. I've just loved it. Again, excuse the pun, but it has just been a joy with the Joy Queen. It really has. Like we could talk for hours and hours and hours. But yeah, it's been a pleasure, and it's good that people, these kind of podcasts exist and people are having these conversations. And if you are listening, like Kat said, if there's anything that's kind of maybe giving you that little light bulb, or like, oh my God, I could do this, or I could do that, or it's just giving you a bit of food for thought. Like that's what this is about, isn't it? That's why we're here to inspire and empower. And through lived experience, like everything that we've been through is for, some purpose along the line. There's always those lessons and blessings. So the fact that I can be sharing some of these little tips or like nuggets that because of what I've been through and what I've experienced is, yeah, that brings me joy in itself as well. So thank you for this opportunity. And it's been lovely to
Oh,
connect with you all. I feel energy, so it's lovely to feel all your beautiful energies if you're listening or watching. And yeah, like we spoke about at the beginning, I've got my book. Depending on when you are listening or watching to this podcast, my book might already be out there. I might have already sold
woo!
16 million copies by the time you
Yeah.
get when you listen to this podcast. It is the book is called Fuck No. So look out for it.
Fuck yes, it is.
Fuck yes, it is. So the catch line, I'm still doing the final workshop on it, but it's going to be fuck no to one day. Because it is about like just waiting and waiting and waiting, like and settling. So it's about raising your worth, raising your standard, raising your boundaries, and using that as an energetic reset to get clear on what it is you do want, getting that clarity, and then we work through the steps and an acronym that I've got. Fuck you, fuck no. I'm thinking Lily Allen. Fuck you very, very. No, the acronym of fuck no as well. And those are the practical steps that you can live by to stay in that vibration, but also to create your fuck yes life. So yeah,
Yes.
fuck no to one day, how to start living your fuck yes life today. Uh,
Love it.
still workshopping the exact words. But yeah, I'm dyslexic. I've got ADHD. If I can write a book, if there's a book in you, go out there and write the freaking book as well. Follow your heart. Don't get stuck in your heads. Just go for it. Like
Yeah.
whatever the book means to you, whatever that thing is, like fuck no to waiting, fuck no to waiting for one day. Just get yourself out there and make that today, day one. But yeah, you can find me on Instagram mainly. I will be a bit more active. I do my stories every day if you want to me waffling away at you. Taking you on the behind the scenes. There is no filter with me. What you see is what you get, and that is on my stories as well. I take you around my life with me, which I love doing. And people always like, oh, it just made me smile today. I will share the good, the bad, and the ugly behind the scenes, what's real. Always keeping it real. On Instagram, Lucia Craddock. And I've got a Facebook group as well, free Facebook group where I do share and have a beautiful community that we've created on there as well called the High Vibers Hub. But I know Kat's gonna pop all the links in there as well. But thank you for spending this time with us and also investing that time into you as well, ultimately. So yeah, it's over to you now to implement what has lit you up today.
Oh, Lucia, fuck yes to the fuck no's.
Yeah.
I can already see your book flying. It's been such a pleasure to chat, my darling. Until the next time, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Everyone listening, you've been amazing. If you want to reach out about anything we've covered, my DMs are open. Lucia's DMs are always open. So, yeah, please do get in touch. Lots of love, my darlings. Until the next episode.
Bye bye.
Bye, darling.